Sangye chodang soki chok namla Jangcho badudak nikyap sochi Dagji jin sukji pe sonam ki Drola panchi sangye drupa shok pe. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Sangha, until enlightenment, we take refuge in you. May we, through the merit of generosity and so forth, achieve Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. Pei. Welcome to Tridevi Chamunda Mandir in Denver, Colorado. This is Yamajit, and thank you for joining me for day 14 of Tibetan Book of the Dead Sadhana. I'd like to include a namaste to Kim, who's joining right now, and anybody else who happens to be tuning in, please feel free to say hello using the chat function at the bottom of the screen. So I'd like to start with the short introduction to day 14. Yet, though set face to face thus, if through the power of poor past choices terror and awe is produced, not recognizing them to be helpful teachers, one flees them. Then on the 14th day, another set of blood-drinking forms will come to receive one. And then something I'd like to say before we begin is, of course, at any stage of this sadhana, could even be day one, a soul may come to the necessary understanding to break the chain of samsara and be absorbed into perfection. And we may not realize if we're doing this for someone, if and when this happens, although there may be some indications like maybe it is harder to visualize that person. Regardless, and this is from a revelation I had this morning, I think it's really important to continue the sadhana to its completion. And so from this point on, I think it's important to make the affirmation that we are doing this, we are acting as a conduit for this information, not just to our loved one, not just to the person that we are thinking of as doing this sadhana, but also for all the other souls out there lost in the bardo, so that they may be guided to where they need to go at this time. So with that, I invite you to make yourself comfortable. Just find that comfortable seated position. Slowly close your eyes and breathe deeply for a moment. And then I invite you to silently call out the name of the person for whom you're doing this sadhana for. Three times is a good number. And visualize them seated with you, sitting opposite you. And acknowledge that you're acting as a conduit for this information to help guide the soul through the state that follows death. And that likewise you're conveying this information to all the other souls that are out there, lost in that state that we know as the bardo, the state between lives. O nobly born, and again I invite you to repeat the name of the deceased. On the 14th day, another blood-drinking form, reddish-black in color, having 3 faces, 6 hands, and 4 feet firmly postured. The right face is white, the left blue, and the central darkish red. The first of the right hands is holding a flower, the middle one a staff, and the last a club. In the first of the left hands is a bell. In the middle one a skull bowl filled with blood, and in the last a small damaru drum. His body is embraced by a female mother figure, her right hand clinging to his neck, her left offering to his mouth a red skull cup full of blood, and the father and mother are in full union. These forms will issue from the western quarter of your brain and come to shine upon you. Do not be afraid. Do not be terrified. Do not be awed, but rejoice. Recognize them to be the product of your own intellect, and they are also your own teachers, so do not be afraid. Believe in them. Concomitantly with recognition, liberation will come. Through such acknowledging, recognizing them to be teachers, in at one with you, and you will merge into them and obtain perfection. Om. Pe. And so taking a deep and clearing breath, letting go of the meditation for now. Slowly opening your eyes and taking some time for quiet contemplation and meditation before resuming the day's activities. And I invite you to join me again at noon tomorrow on Sunday. By the way, this is the 10th of February, 2024. So happy Lunar New Year to those of you who celebrate. And then remember that our daily broadcast of this sadhana, and there will be 40 in all. So this was day 14. Noon tomorrow, and we'll 7 o'clock Monday through Friday this coming week. Tuesday, I'd like to invite you at 7 p.m. following the Tibetan Book of the Dead Sadhana for a meditation based on Swami Vivekananda's Hymn to the Divine Mother. And then likewise on Friday, we'll be doing our monthly Yoga Nidra meditation, topic to be announced. So have a wonderful rest of the day. I look forward to you joining me tomorrow. Namaste. Blessings always. Thank you so very much for joining me. And Jai Mata Di. Jai Mata Di. Jai Mata Di. And thank you once again. Jai Ma.